My name's Adam Aposhin, and I am a senior in computer engineering, and I'm a member of the BYU Mars rover team. My favorite part of being on the BYU Mars rover team has been applying the skills that I've learned to a complex project, working with other really skilled students, and also learning a lot of new things. Things that I didn't anticipate that I would be learning in this project, but that have been really interesting. I've learned a lot about live streaming video, which is really important for teleoperation with our robot, and learning how to optimize those streams for a lossy network, a lossy wireless network. I've also learned a lot about networking in general. I've learned about how to simulate lossy networks so that we can do testing, and I've learned about how to connect together different components in order to build a real-world system. I think that while we do projects in our classes, they're very structured and the scope is carefully designed to meet within the requirements of a class. Working on a project this big is a challenge because the scope is a lot larger and there's a lot of different areas that don't necessarily fall within a single area or a single discipline that could be captured in a single class. And so having to work with different technologies, different tools, and working with the other people on my team, the other types of engineers, to solve a specific problem has been a really great experience. Recognizing that, for example, a thing like our networking is I need to work with the mechanical engineers to build our antenna apparatus. We need to work with our electrical engineers to make sure that our antennas are powered. And we need to work with our software people to make sure that everything is connected together. Honestly, probably one of the most challenging things that I've been working on has simply been becoming familiar with the vast ecosystem of tools and technologies that we're working with. And sometimes things that are documented well, and sometimes things that are not documented well. The camera streaming capabilities that I learned a lot about, it was a little bit challenging to learn how all of those pieces connected together, since it's more of a niche area of programming that not a lot of people are really diving deep into. So that was challenging to figure out how those things work. This opportunity of experiential learning has really helped me to appreciate working on a diverse team, and has helped me to appreciate areas of application where I really can dive into all those different areas. Part of the reason, because of my experience, I plan to continue to work in robotics, and something that I wouldn't have really anticipated as much a couple of years ago, and it was something I was already considering, and something that made me excited about this project, but actually doing this project has made me a lot more excited. Dr. Kilpack's mentorship has been invaluable in working on our project, and he's really good about giving us suggestions and insights, but also letting us do the engineering and make our design decisions. It's been one of the things that has repeatedly come up is it's been so valuable for him to have the experience of what previous years have done, what worked and what didn't work for them. And he always encourages us to take that advice with a grain of salt, and we do. And sometimes we choose to follow suggestions, and sometimes we think we've got something special that we think will solve our problem. Something that I really appreciate about Capstone and being on the Mars rover team is that it's all self-organized, and so that we organize into sub-teams, we make assignments, but then also we adjust as needed. And that's been something that's been really good for me, where sometimes I take the assignment that I'm given and I run with it, and sometimes as I'm learning about particular subjects, I realize that by going down some rabbit hole, I have now become the expert on that subject on the team. And so that's kind of what I experienced, where then I had this opportunity to share the things that I've learned and help contribute to the team in ways that maybe we didn't anticipate with our original organization. Seeing it all come together in the field is so exciting. And it's honestly one of the most fun things. Sometimes being out in the field is also one of the most stressful and frustrating things when things don't work, which they often do. But being able to pull together all the little parts that we've been working on and see it come together as this robot that we can actually drive around and we can let it pick up things and move them to other places, and we're watching the whole thing from a remote camera feed is really fun. And it's pretty cool to think about that this complex system that is something that I helped create, and that I'm intimately aware of all the not all of the complexity, but a significant amount of the work and complexity that has gone into it. I think what made me want to apply was the fact that it did cover so many different areas, and that I felt like there was an opportunity for me to learn a lot of different things, which ended up to be true. I also was really interested in building a mobile robot that could move around and could incorporate lots of different I was interested in localization techniques, path planning. For a lot of the time that I've been on Rose Rover, I haven't necessarily been working on the pieces that I originally thought I would be most interested in, but it's been rewarding and very valuable nonetheless. I think one of the greatest things that Capstone has taught me is, well, first of all, that I'm not a mechanical engineer, but second of all, that I need to be aware of the value of my time and where I put it. And I get so excited about little projects and improvements that I see that can be made, but recognizing when those improvements are not worth the time that are required. And it's been really valuable for me to learn how to prioritize what I should be putting my time into and what will benefit the team. I would say that your education as an engineer empowers you to learn things that you may not have studied in your classes. And I think Capstone is a really good opportunity to realize that you may not be working on the exact things that you've been learning in your classes, but having a technical background and understanding computers, understanding at least a base level of electronics, allows you to really take a deep dive into one aspect of it, or many aspects of it. I know something that it's been really fun for me to see on our team is watch different members of the team become experts about different parts of the system. And that those weren't necessarily things that they knew at the beginning of the year, but there were things that they took some base knowledge that they already had and used it to learn a lot. So I would say that that's something that's really cool about actually being in Capstone, is that it's not about just taking what you know and applying it to a project. It's about taking your education and using it to learn even more and grow a lot, which is pretty cool.